I want to make a video here discussing Denny's a little bit, and I direct you to the Wikipedia entry about Denny's because it contains a bit of information. It gives an example of some of the more outrageous behavior that they had, indicated that they had a $54.4 million settlement. I may have just put the wrong number in a comment to someone. But the whole time along, from the very time that the suit was filed, it was public. It got a lot of press. And I haven't seen any evidence that Denny's was hurt by it at all. So, one argument could be, well, then that if we forced Denny's to do something they didn't want to do, and nobody cared, then any laws that required their behavior to be different would not represent the people. So now we're supposed to represent the people if they act irrationally. I'm not exactly sure where that argument goes, or if it goes in if it's an argument for something that I would support in any event. My whole point about the Denny's thing is that here we have an example of whether the why would anyone do thus and so argument fails. Why would anyone who does not support racism, who is not a racist, support Denny's? They did. I even suspect I probably ate there some at the time. I don't really recall. I've had big, long periods of times where I never went to Denny's. Although the Denny's that I did go to has definitely had to serve blacks because they were a large percentage of the neighborhood. So here we have sort of a dilemma. People saying, why would anybody do thus and such? That really is getting to be the wrong question. The question is, do people do thus and so? And if they do act irrationally, and they do act in a discriminatory manner, what do we do then? Do we say, well, it's okay because that's what the majority wants? I really don't think that goes anywhere. Rather than having the anarchists point to the future and say, why would anyone do thus and so, it would be more interesting for them to point backwards and show many examples of how people do behave in a rational way to block immoral or wrong behavior when given a choice to do so. I think one of the things we'll find that life has so many issues involved in it, we can't all stay on top enough of everything to care. And it's just too much work. I certainly feel that life has too many things in it for me to care passionately about very much at all. I've got to limit myself to a few things. Another point that I would make is that I posted a video to Also Libertarian, and I got 3 or 4 ratings of 1s. Now, I'm not complaining about that. That's certainly fine. People want to do it. But if you look at that video, what I was doing was merely asking a question, which I don't think anybody has yet to answer. And the question is, what do they think about people who discriminate and lie about it? Now, Denny's discriminated and lied about it. They were ultimately found wrong. So one of the arguments said, well, I don't think an example of one Denny's is an example of anything. I would say that one example of Denny's is probably more typical of reality than why would anyone type of argument. And basically what I got out of it is that the anarchists don't like to be challenged, don't like to be asked tough questions. They don't like to deal in reality, and I've already excused that by most of their youth, because their idealism, I believe, springs from the fact that they have not encountered enough evil in the world. And that once they do, you stop asking questions like, why would anyone? So if somebody wants to make some persuasive anarchy videos try to make them, without either explicitly or implicitly making the justification for an argument of why would anyone do thus and so, because if we know anyone has the opportunity to do it, they will do it. And quite often, the things that they value will be more important than the rationality or freedom or goodwill of others that is given as an argument in favor of the expected behavior. The history of the world is full of evil, and the projection of anarchy as being a solution seems to have as a major premise the expectation of behavior which the world has never seen.